friendly Panwar. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome to my YouTube channel. And if you all are new here, then you should totally subscribe. And if you all are not new here, and if you haven't subscribed yet, so you should do that too, and also press the ringing bell besides the subscribe button. And today I'm going to be talking about public speaking skills, how to improve your public speaking skills. I don't know if I have made a video before on this topic, but yeah, today I'm going to be giving out some tips to improve your public speaking skills. So let's get started, and I'm also going to be sharing some of my personal examples, like how I do stuff, like how I speak on stages and how I speak among public. So let's get started. And tip number one is know what your topic is. Most of the times we know what our audience is, we know what the presentation is going to be about, but we don't understand what the topic is. It happens like we understood the topic, like we looked like, oh yeah, so this is the topic we got to speak on. And then it happens, then we are not sure. Like, we just know what this is, we just know what the words are, and we don't understand what the actual meaning of the topic is. So you really gotta know, you gotta be in depth what that topic actually means, and then you gotta prepare something, before cramming or memorizing and all that stuff. Tip number two, stop memorizing or cramming for your presentations or wherever you're going to be speaking. So it's important. Most of the people start cramming, start memorizing. Since I've been, like speaking on stages, I was, what was my age? I think I was 6 since I first started speaking. And since then, and now I'm 17, so I haven't used a paper, I haven't like crammed or memorized stuff, because, we tend to get confused, we tend to be in dilemma so much while we're speaking, like, oh, what was the next word? Like, if you're gonna miss out the next word, you're gonna be messing up your whole presentation, your whole speech. So you really don't have to do that. You have to be in focus. You have to just understand the topic well, like what the topic is, and then you can speak on what the topic is with your own understanding. I mean, of course, you have to prepare for it first. You have to prepare an outline, and that's what leads me to tip number 3, is that prepare an outline. Like, you have to have some topics which you are going to speak on, not like this. Like, you're speaking on one thing now, and then you're just totally going on to another thing, just in a minute. And in the next thing, people are just thinking, wait, what is she talking about? Okay, she was on something else. Like, you're giving out your life story, how you did everything, and now all of a sudden you're on someone else's life story. Like, you're trying to connect all of this stuff, but they're not connecting. And that's where the dilemma is. That's what the problem with the audience is going to be. Like, what is she talking about again? So what you gotta know is you gotta have that thing, like you have to prepare an outline, like, okay, so first I'm going to be talking about this, and I'm going to connect this thing with this. Most of the times people have an outline prepared, we have it, but we don't know how to connect the different points. So which leads me to tip number 4, I guess. So yeah, so tip number 4 is know how to connect your one point to another point. Like, if you all don't know, like, you're speaking on 2 different things. First thing can be confidence, and second thing can be positivity. Now you have spoken on confidence, and now you're started with positivity, and you're just going like, okay, so the next thing I'm going to be talking about is positivity. No, you have to connect. You have to connect the confidence part with the positivity part. Otherwise, the points would be like disconnected, and that will sound really bad and wrong. I mean, people will understand you, but it won't have like such a good impression. And now this impression things brings me to the next point, which is be good at first impression and the last impression. First impression is when you're starting out with a speech, when you're starting out with a presentation, maybe you can start with, a nice quote, or maybe you can start with your own quote, so that will bring like attention towards you. People will start paying attention, like, who just spoke? You're just gonna be like, hello and good morning. Sorry if that scared you, I'm a little loud. So if you're going to be starting like that, then people would pay attention towards you. So you got to have something like that. You got to have that first impression when people would just, wait, who was that? So people would start listening to you. And after that, when you have like spoken your whole, or like given your whole presentation, then you got to add things in the right manner. Then you're going to end things in like a funny way, or like, not too stressful way, if the presentation was something about like that. So in that kind of manner, so that people would like have a last impression too, like, yeah, what a nice presentation. So you gotta have that. And the next point is, after that outline thing, the connecting thing, and what else did I talk about? Yeah, first impression and last impressions. The next thing is you have to speak slowly. This is where I lack. Speaking slowly is not something I can do really good because I always speak fast, and this is where people sometimes, even if most of you all are in the comment section are like, would you please speak slowly, we can't understand you. This is my practice, this is a habit of mine, and I'm trying to work on it. But yeah, really, I can't speak that much slowly, so I'm gonna be suggesting you people to do that and not to repeat it. Please speak slowly so that people can get a second or two to understand you. Next is your after the slowly part, your poses. So when you are connecting these points, when you are connecting all of this stuff which you're talking about, you also have to give some poses between stuff. Like you have given out an idea, and after that idea, pose for a second or two or three, and so that people will know like what you actually talked about. So you have to pose after you end a sentence, pose for a second. It's gonna be nice. The next one is about your intonation and stress. Now, your whole speech or your whole presentation can't go in the same flow. Like if you're speaking like this, so everyone, today I like to talk about positivity, and then I like to talk about confidence, and it would be really nice, then you will sound like just a robot who is in one flow and will not be even interesting, and people are like, what a boring person. So it's important, even if you have the right content, even if you have everything right, you have even great content, way better than everybody else, but you don't have any intonation or any stress on the right words or on the right sentences, on the right phrases, or on the right idea, so people won't be interested in you. And for public speaking, it's really important that people are engaged with you. You know your audience well, which is also the next tip, like know your audience. If you have prepared a presentation for kids and in front of you there are people who are adults, what are you gonna do then? Are you gonna speak the whole thing, or are you gonna speak the same thing which you prepared for kids? Because adults won't be interested in that. They know what A for apple is, or B is for ball, and stuff like this. So you have to know what your audience is, and that you can also know, which I do now. I'm gonna be sharing my experiences most of the times when I am invited to like different public speaking and all. So first I listen to different speakers on what matter they are talking about and what kind of they're talking about. So I mix up a little bit of them and whatever my content is. So I mix up everything and it turns out really nice, let me tell you this. So listen to speakers first, even if you're not even if you are the first speaker, then you can listen to some videos. You can know like, okay, yeah, so this is the type of audience it's gonna be. So first you gotta be aware of like what kind of audience it would be. What will it be like religious people, non-religious people, or like will it be urban people or villagers or countryside people? So you gotta be aware of everything about that. It's important you know where your audience is, otherwise people are not gonna engage with you. Next thing is, same goes with your language. What kind of language you're using, where you are speaking, are people understanding you or people are not understanding you? So that's why it's important to hear other speakers first, which is going to give you an idea to speak in one way or in one expression. And the next part is, I'm also I'm like really important this point is, after knowing what the topic is, or after knowing what your audience is, it's really important that you have a nice content. You can't just go on there and you can't just be speaking on something else. And even if you have your content and people are going to be bored, like really bored, if someone else before you has spoken already on that, and if people already know about the stuff what you're talking about, like if I'm talking about these tips right now, and if you are already aware of it, so you're not going to be interested in watching this video. And if people already know about stuff, they are not going to be interested in you at all. So you have to come up with something unique. You have to come up with some new content. And even if you have the same old content, it's okay. You have to come up with something so that people would pay attention to you, and people would, whatever you have told about, people would listen to you and like be like, yeah, I think we should do that. Like whatever your ideas are, so people have to have inside themselves like, yes, this is what we gotta do. So I think I gave you 7 or 8 tips. I don't quite remember how many tips are that. I'm really bad at like numbering things. So intonation, stress, your first impressions, your last impressions, and then know where your topic is, what your audience is, and what else? Okay, I don't remember that. I'm sorry. So, yeah, you have to focus on all of this, and public speaking is a really important thing. I mean, you have to have the right confidence for it. You just can't be over there and be like all nervous and not be like, this is my first time speaking, so I'm sorry if I'm gonna sound a little old. You don't have to say that in front of people. You have to sound all confident so that people will be like, yes, this person knows about this thing. So, like, not in that energetic kind of form, but yes, people have to know. You can't just be over there and give a bad impression, like, you know, oh my gosh, what would this person know? Is speaking for the first time, so nervous. You also gotta have a really nice body language, like, you know, with your, what do we call that? Your back spine all straight up, and with your really great hand gestures, like, yeah! Without the energy thing and without this yelling thing. But yeah, you gotta have the right confidence, which will even fill the people in front of you like, great, yes. And then you also gotta notice on what people's body language are, like what your audience body language is. Oh yeah, so that person interested. Like if someone's sitting like, yeah, so that person is engaged with you, that person is listening to you. Now let me give you a tip. A personal tip. What I do mostly is when I am speaking in front of public and then I see someone, oh, that person is not paying attention to me. So I'm gonna come up with a question, or I'm gonna be like, sir, are you sleeping over there? I'm sorry, do you find this all boring? So that will be bad for a person who was sleeping and all. I know this is pretty bad, but I do this most of the times when you are not sure and when you're like, okay, that person isn't understanding me quite well, that person isn't paying attention. So you can come up with a really interesting question, and it will also be like, you know, something new, and instead of the boring speech, that will be something new. So you can just question the other person who is not paying attention. Sir, do you find this boring? Or you can also be like, sir, you sitting over there, can you tell me your ideas about this thing? It will be really nice, believe me, and it gives you a level of satisfaction. At least it does to me. So yeah, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much everyone for watching. I am Janhavi Panwar, and if you liked it, do share with your friends and family, do comment, do subscribe, and yeah, if you all have to connect with me, so you all can follow me on my social media, my Twitter, my Instagram, my Facebook, and thank you so much for watching. Stay safe everyone. Bye.